Good morning, Riverdale School. This is Mr. Paris with your morning announcements. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. You may be seated. Today is Tuesday, April 21st, 2020. It would be our 141st day of school, is our 26th day of learning from home. There are no birthdays at Riverdale School today. However, today is Queen Elizabeth II's birthday. She is the current Queen of England, and she was born on this day in 1926. She's 94 years old today. The weather is sunny. Make sure to get out today. We're supposed to have some thunderstorms later today, hopefully not until the late afternoon, early evening. So please get outside and enjoy that weather. I don't know how many of you got to go outside on Sunday. I hope it's all of you because that weather on Sunday was perfect. I'm sure we're going to have more days like that coming up. But for today, make sure you get outside and enjoy some of the sun. I think it is supposed to get a little bit cooler as we go through the week. A couple of announcements. So I have a couple here. So listen up. Here we go. Number one, Lexia starts this week for grades 4 and 5. And those learning plans on the website, 4th and 5th graders, you should be logging on to Lexia this week. Try to hit at least 15 minutes a day. That's it, 15 minutes. How hard is that, 4th and 5th graders, right? At least 14 to 15 minutes a day. If you need help getting on with your username and password, make sure to email your teacher, and your teacher will be able to help you get your username and password. Also, for everyone, grades really K through 5 this week, Freckle is starting today. I know a lot of you have been using it. It's a really fun website. What it does is it gives you a little pretest, sees where you're at, and then it kind of lets you take off from there. So we're doing the adaptive math piece. Again, adaptive math and Freckle math. And you want to do that at least 3 times this week. Be on the lookout for these to be in your learning plans. Families, I know you're helping your students out as well with these. So again, I just want to make sure I clarify that Lexia will be on there for a certain amount of time for your grade level. I'm just saying grades 4 and 5 are at least 15 minutes a day. And then everyone for Freckle, there's you want to be going on there this week at least 3 times per week. And we're all doing the adaptive math. It's going to give them a pretest, and then folks will be able to do math at their level. It's a really, really nice website, and it's fun, and you get to earn tokens and all of these. It's learning, and it's a game. In coming weeks, we'll also start to talk about Mayan, which is a way to read books on the computer, but don't worry about that till next week. All right. Also, turning in work. I know I've had a lot of emails from families saying, am I supposed to be turning in work? Who am I supposed to be turning it into? How do I turn it in? Here's what I want you to do, families and students. Students, I want you to listen to this because remember, it's not your parents' work, it's your work. So here's what I want you to do. Every week, I want you to choose one writing assignment that you're really proud of at the end of that week. You can, if you know it by the beginning of the week, that's fine, but choose your favorite from the entire week and choose one math assignment that you've done that you're super proud of. You either worked really hard on it, or you just know that you have it and you want to make sure that you show this work off. So again, one writing and one math per week, and I want you to send that to your teacher. You can take a picture of it and email it to your teacher. Maybe your teacher has Google Classroom set up and you can share it that way. Find out from your teacher how they want your work. But again, it's one piece of math for the week, one piece of writing for the week. Think about it like building your portfolio. When teachers and adults build a portfolio, or an artist builds a portfolio, they choose their best work and they put it in that portfolio. Students, that's what we want you to do. Each week, we want you building your portfolio. So again, choose one that you're really proud of from math, one that you're really proud of from writing, and then Lexia and Freckle is also going to be sending your teachers all of this information about all of the work you're doing. Teachers have been working really hard over these past couple weeks to get trained on all of these new websites so they can check out the data on the work you're doing. So you want to make sure you're getting on and doing that, because if you're not doing that, teachers will probably be reaching out and saying, hey, what's going on? Do you need help getting on the website? Because we really want you to keep this work going. And that is me. So students, I also don't want to hear that you're fighting with your parents about getting this work done. I want to thank Malcolm in grade 1. He's already started sending his writing and his math in. I saw an amazing summary of Harry Potter and some great, I believe it was bar graph work from Malcolm in grade 1. So also your teachers, as you send this work into your teachers might give a mention to me and say, hey, can you give this person a shout out in the morning announcements? And that's what Miss Rusko did. Also, Google Meets. Teachers are finishing up their training on Google Meets. I know families and students have been really craving this. They really want some one-on-one or some FaceTime, right, with the teachers. That's going to be rolling out this week. Teachers have to get trained on it. We need to make sure it's done in a safe way. It's coming, I promise. Be on the lookout for your students, for your teachers to reach out to you about that, because there's certain ways we need to go about it. Speaking of, but we're just talking about turning in work. Did you also know that April is Poetry Month? And Miss Costello and Miss Sullivan said, Mr. Paris, you have to share this poem on the morning announcements. Emmy in grade 5 did such an amazing job. And what's interesting is I had read this poem too from Emmy. Emmy shared it with me and I read it and I thought, wow, that was such a great idea. So Miss Costello, Miss Sullivan, thank you so much for asking Emmy if we could share this poem on the morning announcements. I'm going to bring it up here so I can read it to you. And Emmy, thank you so much for allowing us to share your poetry, especially where, yes, April is Poetry Month. So let me get this up here. And I'm going to read to you this poem, and it's called The Perfect Friend for Me. Here we go. The perfect friend for me. Today I will find the perfect friend for me. I will look high and low, as far as I have to go. I started off east, and I found a beast. He was having a feast. He ate pigs and bears, along with the hare. He ate cats and dogs, along with some frogs. He was sloppy and messy, and he was most definitely not the perfect friend for me. I decided to go west, but that wasn't the best. I met a girl with a long vest. She was such a pest. She was rude and cruel and did not follow the rule. She was a bully and a brat. You could even call her a rat. She was not the perfect friend for me. Next, I went south. I met a woman with a big mouth. She would not stop talking, not even when walking. She spread the drama and loved her pet llama. She was not the perfect friend I was looking for. Kept going, and last I arrived north, met a short boy who was about a fourth of the ground. He had sparkling eyes, and he was eating flies. He wore a very fancy outfit, but it smelled like an armpit. His hair looked very shiny, but his arms were too tiny. He was not the perfect friend for me. I went back home feeling sad. I wanted a friend so bad. Where is the perfect friend I've been searching for? I've looked everywhere, even the floor. But that was a bore. Where is the perfect friend I was looking for? Then I suddenly thought, maybe I'll never find a perfect friend, because there is no such thing. I don't need someone who's perfect. I just need someone to connect with. I need a friend that will laugh with me, not at me. I need a friend who will listen to me. And I need a friend who is most definitely not perfect. And that is by Emmy L. Cadet in grade 5. So again, Emmy, I want to thank you so much for letting us share that poem with the entire school community. Students, I'll be on the lookout from your teachers. Your teachers will let me know if there's something that I should be sharing on morning announcements. If there's something that you're really proud of, maybe you could let your teachers know that this could be something that could be shared on morning announcements. We're not going to be able to share everyone's work every day. These morning announcements would be way too long. In fact, I think these this morning are starting to get a little long as well. So, but again, thank you so much, Emmy, and happy Poetry Month. To round out our morning announcements, let's get into some Did You Know on This Day in Histories. Did you know that on this day in history, in 1960, Brazil named its new capital of Brasilia? They changed it from Rio de Janeiro. I had to look some of this up. I was just interested. And I looked some of this up. And apparently they moved it to Brasilia to help the economy move towards the middle of the country, because they needed to kind of boost up the middle of Brazil. So they moved it there. Also, did you know, and this is a really good fact for Boston. I watched a documentary on this last night about the Boston Marathon. Did you know that on this day in history in 1980, Rosie Ruiz crossed the finish line of the Boston Marathon? She won the women's division of the Boston Marathon that year. However, 8 days later, she was disqualified and her title was stripped from her because they found out she had cheated. Apparently, she hopped into the marathon about a half mile away from the finish line. And people found out because they used their clues. They were looking at her when she finished, and she wasn't as sweaty as she should have been. She also wasn't wearing clothes that would normally be worn by an elite runner. Also, her time was kind of like bananas. She had broken all sorts of records. So folks use their detective work, just like when you're reading a book and we ask you to be reading detectives and look for clues in the stories. People did that with Rosie Ruiz. Absolutely look that up. It's a really interesting fact about Boston Marathon history. All right, as we do every day, let's take a couple of deep breaths to get ready for the day. Ready? Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. One more time, everyone with me. Let's start the week off right. Ready? In through your nose and out through your mouth. Great. Have an excellent day, and remember to be the respectful, responsible, hardworking, and positive people that Riverdale students are. Stay healthy and take care of each other.